Hello and welcome to the July coffee subscription tasting video where I'm tasting the 3 coffees that we're sending out to all our subscribers around the world. Yes, you heard it right, we do ship around the world with DHL, so that takes about 2 days, 2 to 3 days from when we ship it until you get it into your mailbox. And of course in Norway, where we are based, we ship with Bring or Posten, so that means you can get it in your mailbox within 1 to 5 days. As usual, I select the 3 coffees that we send out every first Wednesday of the month. And you can subscribe from 1 to 6 bags. And if you subscribe to 6 bags, for instance, you get 2 bags of each coffee. If you subscribe to 2 bags, you only get the first 2 coffees, and so on. And of course, you can pause, stop, or change your subscription at any time. And if you're struggling with it, send us a mail and we will help you out. So check out our website for more information about the subscription. All right, let's get started on the tasting. As you can see, Football World Cup. I've just been to Colombia and got this beautiful shirt. Managed to watch the Norwegian game in the airport. That was fantastic. We beat Iraq. It's the first time Norway is in the World Cup in 16 years, so it's a big deal for us. Hopefully we can win. Who knows? Okay, let's taste the coffees that I've selected for this month. It's summertime now, so hopefully you will get something very, very nice, fruity and floral. Yes, I have selected 3 very, very nice coffees this month. And I like to drink very refreshing coffees during the summer. Unfortunately, we have fresh crop coffees from Africa that just arrived. And we also have a little special coffee for the first bag we're sending out to all our subscribers in June, just because we're very kind. We're actually losing a little bit of money on this when we send this out, because it's a quite expensive coffee from Finca El Puente. Yes, you heard it right, Finca El Puente in Honduras. We're sending out the geisha from their last harvest, which we bought the late harvest picking. So normally when we buy coffee from Honduras, we ship coffee twice. We ship quite early because they harvest like January, February, March, April, May, June. So we ship 1 container early, and then we get a second shipment a little bit later in the year, so we can get the last pickings of the peak of the harvest, where we tend to find the best coffees. And this geisha is from that later harvest, and it's a little bit more pronounced and kind of, expressive than the previous lots that we have sold throughout the year. So it tastes a little bit more geisha, if you want, which means more florals, more citrus, more sweetness. And also in this case, this coffee is also a little herbal, which I tend to find in all the coffees from Finca El Puente. So you heard it right, the first coffee we're sending out, Finca El Puente, the geisha from the later harvest last year. So a little bit higher altitude and the later pickings, which means probably a little bit longer maturation. It tastes, for me, it just tastes like mandarin or tangerine, mandarin, like not necessarily tangerine, mandarin, the sweeter version of the citrus. Has a lot of these jasmine florals, a little bit of herbality. Their coffees are always so super clean, and it still tastes really, really fresh. And that's because they dry all the coffees on the shade nets for us. They actually have drying tables outside of their house in Markala. So they take the coffee from the mill, where it's in Chinakla. It's like 40-minute drive from their house. They take the coffee, they actually depulp the coffee and ferment it by their house sometimes. Sometimes they do it on their smaller mill at the Chinakla mill. And then they take the parchment or the cherries to the house, get it processed, and then dry it outside of their house, because in Markala the altitude is a little bit lower, so they have a little bit more sun and a little bit less like foggy, rainy weather during the harvest. That means the coffee can dry very evenly under shade, and they have people working all day long to kind of rotate the coffees to make sure that it dries very evenly. Moises has really perfected his drying technique, and it's actually in collaboration with us. We have been discussing this for many years, and over the years we have tested together many different drying techniques. And when we dry the coffees on raised beds under shade, we see that the coffees stay fresh for much, much, much longer time. And we also pack the coffee in Grain Pro before it's shipped. That means when it's stored in airtight bags, and then we vacuum pack the coffee when it's shipped. So all in all, this helps to get the coffee really fresh or to keep the coffee really fresh for a long time. And I just tasted this with a fresh crop that was just harvested, that we haven't received yet. Couldn't really tell the difference. This tastes a little bit more open, but in terms of age, you couldn't really tell the difference, to be honest. So, first coffee, the Geisha from Marisabel and Moises, Finca El Puente in south, south west of Honduras, very close to the El Salvadoran border. Coffees we have been buying for many years, and beautiful people that we have been working with for many years. If you want to see more from their farms, we have videos on YouTube that you can check out. Highly recommend them. The guy who stands behind the camera now has been traveling with me to film, and it's just so beautiful to see their farms and everything. So I get goosebumps every time I see it. Okay, second coffee is from a different continent. It's from Kenya. Yes, you heard it right. We just received Kenyan coffees. And this is from Western Kenya, from Mount Elgon. So it's on the border of Uganda, at around 18 to 2,000 meters above sea level, 1,800 to 2,000. And in this area, they haven't really grown that much of the SL varieties in the past. And I've been visiting this cooperative for many years. It's called Kapsokisio. And most of their members actually grow the cultivar named K7. It's a little bit different than the SL cultivars. It used to be very normal in very high altitudes in Kenya. But the flavor is also a little bit different than the SLs, but also quite similar. It has this kind of red fruit, rosehip, floral style. So let's taste it. Yes, yes. It's so soft. It's not as tart as the Kenyan coffees that we buy from Nieri. It's a little bit softer in acidity. Has more like kind of rosehip tea, rhubarb, this kind of pinkish red fruit. Not as much of the kind of blackcurrant, blackberry thing that you tend to find in Kirinyaga in Nieri. And this is because, you know, Mount Elgon is in a completely different area than Nieri. And they're mainly growing the K7 cultivars. And this cooperative has been processing really clean and nice coffees for many years. So we've been buying it for as often as we can, as often as we find it on the cupping table in Kenya. I always ask for it when I'm there, but it's not always that they have delivered the coffee in time, or sometimes it's already been sold in auction. So it's a little bit of a timing issue when I'm there, but most years I get to buy this coffee. And it's not like we have close relationship with a cooperative like we have with farmers like Finca El Puente, where I can go and visit and, you know, talk to them and change things. With the cooperatives, it's a little bit difficult in Kenya because there are so many members who deliver coffee cherries to the cooperative, and the cooperative is responsible for processing and drying and everything. So yeah, you could probably go in and at the processing stations and change the way they do things if you buy a lot of coffees. But when you're a small customer like us, it's kind of hard to do that too. So we work a little bit differently in Kenya, and hopefully we will find some smaller farms that we can work with in the future. So flavor notes for this, definitely soft red, like rosehip, hibiscus, a little bit of rhubarb, very nice, bright, refreshing acidity, not as tart as some of the Kenyans can be. Really like soft, elegant, medium-bodied, but a lot of intensity of flavor. So perfect for summer drinks if you want to cool it down as well. We have recipes for iced coffees on our YouTube channel. All right, now to the third coffee, which is probably going to be my favorite coffee this year so far. It's from Echemo in Ethiopia, and I love that farm. I've been there many times, and we just went there to film also, so we're releasing a video of that farm very soon. You'll see 80-year-old coffee trees that are, you know, taller than us. You have to climb the coffee trees to pick the coffee. The seeds that were planted on this farm were planted by Khalid's grandparents, and they took the seeds from Choche forest when they moved to where the Echemo farm is now located. So the trees have never been pruned, they've never been fertilized, The only thing Khalid does is to clean the weeds around the trees and sometimes remove some moss and stuff from the trunks of the trees. And then he picks the coffee cherries, and that's it. We've been buying this coffee for quite a few years. It's always been quite delicate, tea-like, not extremely intense in terms of flavors. This year, it's a completely different coffee. It's so intense, a lot of florals, a lot of stone fruit flavor, and very, very intense and very, very sweet. So it's probably the best coffee I've tasted from Echemo ever. And I'm just so happy that we got it fast so that you can enjoy it when it's really, really fresh. Let's taste. Wow. So intense. I mean, so much stone fruit flavor, and it's so sweet, lingering, concentrated. Super, super nice. And this is pretty high extraction. I would actually suggest to try to grind maybe a little bit coarser to see if you can get a little bit more tea-like flavors, because it's so intense. I enjoy it like this too, but you should play around with the grind size a little bit with this coffee. Don't go too coarse, but a little bit coarser than you normally think. And this will be the really fruit bomb and a really refreshing coffee during summer. Wow. So intense and so different than the geisha, although they have kind of similar characteristics with this kind of yellow fruit, florals. The geisha is, compared to the Echemo, very herbal, citrus, floral. The Echemo. It's like peach iced tea or something like that. So good. I could talk about these coffees forever, but I'm not going to hold you for too long. Please enjoy these coffees. And I hope you will also try them as cold coffees, because they really shine as a cold coffee. We have a recipe online where we add a little bit of sugar. You don't have to do that, but I prefer to do that to kind of remove a little bit of the bitterness and get even more of the fruit flavors out. So there are thousands of iced coffee recipes you can check out online, but I highly encourage you to try them as iced coffees, because they're really, really tasty, and because they're so fruity, they really shine when they also get a little bit cooler. I don't recommend necessarily to do cold brew. Then you lose out on a lot of these floral and fruity aromas. So brew it hot and then cool it down. That's my best advice for these coffees. Okay, I hope I will see you next month, and I hope you will enjoy these coffees as much as I do as well. Thank you for watching, and have a nice